we continue. I kind of had to cut off from the last live stream. I looked at manipulating triads, harmonizing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, this beautiful Celtic prelude. These were done by Julie, member of CCG, Graham, a member of CCG. This was by Anne, who is not a member of CCG, but used one of my online courses to start composing a melody. So I'm up to here. This is by Malcolm, who's a member of the Creative Classical Guitarist as well, and he's like quite an advanced composer, quite an experienced composer. Excuse me. And this is a kind of a experiment, almost like what would happen if you take a guitar piece and you change it, like you kind of add some of your own embellishments and variations. So this is Julia Florida, one of my all-time favorite pieces by Agustin Barrios, right? This is what it sounds like. Like that, but Malcolm's gone ahead and just added some of his own variations. So what we get is anyway, that's the A section, and then it goes into the B section. Like that. Hello, greetings from Saltillo. I'm not sure where that is. Where is that? I've got a comment in the chat. Oh, Mexico. There we go. From Mexico. Oh, thanks for watching all the way from Mexico. I'm in Florida, not too far away. So you get some beautiful, so that the first section's, you could say, slightly embellished. The second section is more embellished if I keep going. Oops. Thank you. You like the variation. Fernando likes this variation. Well, let me. Oh, it's not published yet, so what can I do here? We can maybe we can put you in touch with the person who arranged this. You can. How about you contact? If you're really interested, you can contact me. I'll send you a link where you can contact me, and I'll send you the email of of Malcolm who arranged this. So let me just get there's a contact form you can use to just send me a quick message, and I'll here we go. I'll write that, please. Send me a message and I'll forward. Okay. So yeah, feel free to use that link. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful variation of a well-known piece. It's a public domain piece, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure we could, we could publish it. But yeah, it's really nice this is what I think the Creative Classical Guitarist is all about. It's like thinking outside of the box a little bit and doing something, creative like this. This is a really like unexpected sort of thing to do, and I think the result is really beautiful. So that's that. The whole piece is done. I'll try and record it sometime soon. It's not the easiest thing to learn, this one, but yeah, really beautiful. He does some really nice stuff here with the harmonics. It's a gorgeous effect that has there. So there's some more of what's going on in the Creative Classical Guitarist, and then another thing, we're going to flip over to analysis now, and from Barrios to Caruli here. So I have a question. This is a question here from. This is a question from, my goodness, I've lost the name. Where are we? Here we go. Patrick, of course, Patrick. This is a question from Patrick. And Patrick is doing the sight reading course that's on CCG. And one of the sections goes into form and keys, talks about form and keys. Okay, so Patrick is asking the question about this piece, and this is a very common one. So we have a few sections in this piece, however I've only labeled A and B here like that. So Patrick's question is, well, there's another section here, so what's going on? How does this all kind of fit together? So what I can tell you here is that this is a very common thing to occur. So what we have here, we could call this section A1, and then we can call this A2. And then we go to B, and then we go back to A1 and A2, and we finish at the end of A2. Okay, so the A section, I'm calling this A1 and A2 because they're both in the same key. So basically it's like a out of proportion ternary form. We've got A1, A2, and then B, and this B is only 8 bars long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A1 is, let me write this all down, A1, A2, like that. So A1 is 8 bars, A2 is 8 bars, B is 8 bars, A1 is 8 bars, and A2 is 8 bars long. So, and then this is in C major, and the B section is in A minor, and then that's just C major again, like that. C major, A minor, C major. So that's why we're saying the A1 and A2 are well, like one section, and then the B section is A minor, and so that's another section, and then we return. So it's ternary form, just with a kind of like expanded A section. Sometimes this is referred to as embedded or nested form, where you have, like, you could say that this is binary form. The A section is made of 2 parts, so that's binary, but the whole piece is ternary. So you've got binary within ternary, and that's the term, where the term nested or embedded, it's like nested within the larger form. So I hope that helps describe. It's like not the easiest thing to explain or to think about, but that's kind of what's going on. What might help is if I play through the piece, and let me play through the piece, and so you can hear this form in action. All right, so this is the Andante by Crowley. So I'll do all the repeats and try to follow along. A1 C major, A2 C major. You should hear a very drastic contrast in the B section. Okay, so here we go. Tune there, sorry. But yeah, so hopefully you're able to follow along and see the that form in action. The result of this form is basically it is a way to expand a composition to make it longer. So you could do that you could do the same thing for the B section. Sometimes you'll see that A1 A2 and then B1 B2, and then you could go back to A1 A2 again. That's just a way to expand the form. It's a good, if you compose and you want to write something that's longer to make it more expanded, that can be one way to do it. Instead of just A, B, A, you go A1, A2, and they're in the same key, and then B changes key, and then A1, A2 back in the original key. I should point out there is in A2, there is a little adventure into the key of G. So we go to a D7. This is called a passing modulation or a tonicization. We go D7 to G there, just in the middle. And then that G chord becomes G7. The F sharp becomes F natural. That becomes G7, and then that takes us back to C. And so that D7 is a dominant chord. It's the 5 of 5. It's the 5th chord of the 5th chord. Does that make sense? The 5th chord is G, and the 5 of 5 is D. And then G7 is the 5 of C, so it takes us back to C. Okay, and we learn about modulation also in the Creative Classical Guitarist. There's a whole section just on modulation in the foundation curriculum, the foundation program. So, and you learn a little bit about it in the sight reading course, but you don't go in as much detail in the sight reading course. So yeah, so there we go. Composition, there's a little bit of form and keys, and there's a little bit of a adventure into the dominant key, G, the key of G there. All right, so I think I just want to talk about one more thing, and no worries, Fernando needs to head off. Oh, you got a book. Oh, you got my arpeggio book. Great. I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying that. I want to. Okay, I want to talk about. I want to talk about focus, because focus, I think, is something that people have lost these days. It's very easy to lose focus. And let me know in the chat, do you agree? Have you lost? Do you find it difficult to maintain focus? Meaning, do you like? When's the last time you've written down a program and you've stuck to it, and you've really, really been proud of how you've played this program, this list of pieces? I think it seems like most people struggle with staying focused, and could even be one piece of music. Like, when is the last time you've played one piece of music to the best of your ability, been really proud, really happy of how you've played it? Let me know. Has that happened recently, or have you struggled? I'd love to hear from you. But from the students that I've taught, focus has been a real challenge. And so I've developed a 7-day focus challenge. 7-day focus challenge. And let me get this. I need to swap this file over here so you can see. Here we go. 7-day focus challenge. Okay. Right now, this is only available in the Creative Classical Guitarist, but I do plan on. I want to make this this is like a soft launch. I want to kind of just introduce this concept and hear from you as well. What do you think about this? But let me talk more about it before. Okay, so I've got a preface here. Talks basically what I've said. Distraction is such an enemy. Right, distraction is such an enemy, and it's so easy to be distracted today because of all of the things we have access to. We have access to so many scores, we have access to so much information, so many teachers and great guitarists saying great things all the time. But information is not always helpful. The most helpful thing is when you take action and when you implement and you do work and you practice and you put time into practice and effort and that kind of thing. That's where the real fruit comes from. So what we're doing here is you got 7 days, choose one piece. It's all outlined here. Choose one piece and focus on that for 7 days. 7 days. And you can take quick notes here. You can just do a little check if you want that you've done it. You can also track each day. And what I've got here is a bit of guidance for each day as well. So day 1, the focus is to study the piece. Listen to a great recording. Identify the sections of the piece. Identify where phrases start and end. That's a great use of your time, I think, for day 1, because you're getting to know the piece. You're studying the piece a little bit. You're thinking of it musically first. Then you can start to think of it more technically. Day 2, positions and fingerings. Write down the position in every place, every shift. You should know every single position you're going to. Don't leave one blank. Ensure you have the correct optimal fingering. Okay, so make sure the fingerings are all correct or optimal. Maybe you need to change them if they're not working. And don't forget right hand fingerings as well. Day 3, we go to rhythm. Use a metronome. That can sting the ear sometimes, when guitarists hear that. Use a metronome. Oh, ouch, that can be harsh to hear sometimes. But I can't tell you the amount of improvements that my students make when they use a metronome consistently, frequently start using a metronome. Your playing will just skyrocket. So the fluency, all these little breaks and hesitations start to go away. It's tough at first though. It's tough at first because it really shows, it reveals all of those little flaws. But once you break through that, it really helps you playing. You can use time words for the rhythm. I've discussed this in other videos. You can think of the rhythm as like ta, ti, 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 ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, that kind of thing. Or you can subdivide and count. Okay, so that's day 3, focus on the rhythm. Day 4, focus on tough spots. So where are the tough spots in the piece? There will always be spots in a piece that are more challenging than others. So you don't want to waste your time always practicing the stuff that where there's no issue. Go to the places where there are issues. The tough spots, divide and conquer. Isolate and repeat tough spots. Slow practice, at least half speed, and then practice transitions between bars and sections. So there's a few ways to practice on day 4. Day 5, focus on your interpretation of the piece. Dynamics, macro dynamics, meaning like piano, mezzo forte, and then micro dynamics. Crescendos, decrescendos, rubato, accelerando, and ritardando. Expression, vibrato, tone, glissando, etc. Day 5, interpretation. Day 6, memorization. So try to visualize the piece in your mind. That's one way you can work on your memorization. Play it left hand only. Start in random spots, not always from the beginning. Those are some techniques that I've used and I teach that have helped students to memorize pieces. And then day 7, performance and recording. Find someone to perform for on day 7. Anyone, your kid, your child, your spouse, your husband, your wife, your mum, your dad, your friend, your dog, anyone, just find someone to play for. And also I would say and record yourself. Try not to make it an or. Try and do both. Perform and record on day 7. And then try to even organize the next performance so that you give yourself accountability, you give yourself a goal for the next one. So that's it. That's the challenge. All right. So let me know what you think. Someone said about focus. One teacher said that he practiced with distractors like a TV show. I don't think that's the same kind of thing. That's distraction while you're practicing. I do that sometimes. Like sometimes I put on shows and I'm doing my technical work, doing my all the warm-ups you see. Sometimes I will put on a show, and I don't think that's necessarily a very bad thing. But the type of distraction I'm talking about is like, it's when you're not, one day you're practicing some pieces and then the next day you find a new book online and then you start practicing stuff from that book, and then the next day you go on YouTube and some great guitarist is showing you a really awesome exercise, and so you start practicing that, and the next day you find another piece that you like, you heard another great piece and you try to, so you're just hopping around like day after day, or maybe even within one day you're hopping around from all these different things. But if you focus your energy over time, over a week, over several weeks, over months, over years, over decades, that's when, there are some pieces that I've been playing for decades. Now, I've been playing these same pieces. It's like breathing. It's just part. I can do it so easily because I've been playing them for decades. So you want to have that sort of consistency undergirding your playing, and I think that's where real progress comes from. That's when you're able to realize your full potential, and you'll memorize the music. It will be fluid. It will be polished technically. You'll be able to play it for people comfortably. So that's the kind of focus that I'm talking about. It's not necessarily like what you're doing while you're playing the guitar. It's like the ability to practice consistently the same things day after day, week after week, that kind of thing. Something I do a lot with students is I'll encourage them that we'll work on one piece for 1 month. And so we map out, we can map out the year and say, January, you'll play this piece, February, this piece, March, this piece, April, this piece. All right. So one piece per month. That it sounds like it's not much, but over a year, you've got 12 pieces that are exceptionally prepared. memorized, you've recorded them, you've found opportunities to play them. You have 12 pieces in a year, 12 pieces that are great. It's a hard thing to, from what I've seen, a lot of guitarists struggle to play one piece really well. So if you have 12 pieces that are really well prepared, I think you'll be really content. You'll be, you won't be disappointed anymore at your progress. You get a bit of progress, and then it's just, that goes back downhill again. So let me know what you think in the comments about this challenge. 7 days. You don't need the materials. You can just take this challenge on board. Just say, all right, I'll choose a piece, 7 days. Go through it in 7 days. Well, you know what? How about maybe I can put a link in the chat for the book. Okay, let me put a link for the chat for the book in the chat. Put a link in, so you can just follow that program. Yeah. So I'll just grab a link here and I'll put it in the chat for you. To find the book, but yeah, let me know what you think about this. Have you experienced this as well, or have you experienced good habits over time, and do you have good experiences playing for other people, that kind of thing? It's hard to get a link here. I have to grab a long Google Drive link. Sorry about this. And I do plan, excuse me, let me know if you're interested in, like, what I want to do is actually do this together. I'll announce a day, maybe 1st of June, first week of June, where we can kind of go through this together, right? So like, let's all be on day one at the same time, and that kind of thing. So would you be interested in that? You can also join the Creative Classical Guitarist anytime and join us as we join other members who are doing that. So all right, here we go. I'm getting the link now here, so you can download the book that I've shown you, and I will put it into the video description as well. Let's see if we have any questions. So it's taking a while to get this link for some reason. Let's try it again. Maybe because I just uploaded it. Okay, here we go. There we go. So there's the link. The link will come now. Okay, so I'll put this link for the 7-day focus challenge ebook. All right, so that's something that I just wanted to share with you. And finally, I just want to show you what the Creative Classical Guitarist looks like on the inside here. This is inside the Creative Classical Guitarist. So we've got the 7-day challenge here. Where you can get the book, and you can actually see that a few members have already chosen what they're going to work on. Bolero by Julian Arcas, Capriccio Árabe, Sally Gardens. I don't know, we've got others as well who are participating. But so this is the Creative Classical Guitarist. So there's a feed here. It's a little bit like social media. It's very community oriented, which I think is really important, because community, I think, is the most important thing these days. Information is not so important because there's so much of it. You can get information everywhere now. So that what ends up really making a difference in your playing, in your, you know, fulfillment, even with the guitar, I think, is having a community to share things with. And so we have a feed here. All of the updates go into the feed, so you can see members are posting things. So Paula has posted this nocturne. It's beautiful, right? It's the start of a nocturne. So I can't wait to see where that goes. That's absolutely gorgeous writing. And then Bobby has shared a nocturne that she wrote for the piano a few years ago. That's gorgeous as well. Really, I hope she arranges it for the guitar. She's already she's attached the score there. And then Kiam's written some awesome theme and variations for 2 pieces, for 2 lullabies. We were playing through that earlier. Absolutely gorgeous as well. When new members come in, there's a question: what's your number one struggle? That helps me to point you in the right direction. And I also send you a survey, and that helps me point you in the right direction as well. So yeah, and then there's, you know, all the workshops and everything that are posted. So that's the feed. But really the heart and soul of CCG are the pathways. So when you join, you're encouraged to just join a pathway first thing. I mean, there's an orientation as well. So you want to do a little checklist as an orientation, tells you the mission of CCG, the progression, expectation, key points, and there's just very short videos about navigating the site, and the app comes with an app as well. So there's an orientation. You can take that, and then you choose a pathway. So if you want to focus on performing more, you can select that, and that's the performing pathway. You get a routine, you get a practice journal. So once you've kind of done that, you'll be able to say, I've completed that, and then you'll go into the next step, which is a course on practicing, which I think is very important. If you want to focus on performing, you've got to learn how to practice, because that's the thing that's going to really influence your focus. You got your routines that keeps you focused, and then you learn how to practice, and then you learn how to practice even more, like the 4 stages of learning a piece. You go from preparation to consolidation to memorization, and then finally performance. And then we've got some live events and some ongoing things. So masterclasses are on every week. And then we've got a practice room where you can upload recordings of your progress. And we've got open mics. So that's the performing pathway. And then there are different pathways. So if you want to focus on composing, for example, it'll be a different set of things. You get composing for beginners level 1, a more advanced course, foundations, intermediate, and then composition and creativity, which is like an advanced course there, really much more advanced course there. So that's the composing pathway. And let me show you what a course looks like this one here. This is one of my favorites for introduction to composition. So you get your materials, you get short little lessons here, just demonstrations, very short doable tasks. Like the first task here, play through the chords as indicated by the diagrams at the top of the plan. So you're just playing through the chords, and I go through this in the video, right? So you just play. That's the first task, and then this next task is writing a melody. So you just write a melody, and then you sequence it up a step again, and that's it. And in the video I show you how to do that. So you step 2 is it's like step by step melody. Every measure, every bar of the piece is covered, like what you should be doing. And then harmony, adding the chords in, edit and refine, and that's it. So, and we've got dozens and dozens of pieces that have been composed using this framework, using this process. So yeah, you can choose a pathway and get plugged into the events as well that are associated with the pathways. Although you don't have to, you can do this kind of self-study. You can watch all the recordings. We've got a library here. So if I go to the workshops library and choose the last year's workshops, for example, for foundations, you'll see we've got all of the workshops here in a playlist. So you can just like play it and it'll just auto play through all of them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of binge watching this kind of material. I think because it's structured, that's the difference, right? If you're binge watching YouTube and hopping around from one thing to another, you're going to learn a thing or two. It's fine. But if you watch, it's like watching a series where it's progressing and everything's, based off the last thing you watched. It's like building up from the last thing that you watched. But then there are also tasks as well. And they're also bite-sized. Everything is bite-sized. So if I go to foundation composing here, we go to, like, if you want to learn about triads, for example, the quick task for you to do is to play this study. Where you're actually playing all four of the triads in one short little study. You're playing an augmented triad, major, minor, and diminished. So it's very practical. And then there's like a much longer in-depth video you can watch as well. But there's a quick task, and then there's like a more in-depth tasks. If you click on this, you'll get the materials. Triads, what's a triad, and this is the stuff that's in the video. You see in the video, so I explain this in the video, and then you'll have more tasks like a write out. So for example, the tasks will start soon here. So build an augmented triad over CAGED, and then you do the same thing, build a major triad over those chords. So that's just an example of. And then here we have movable triads. So the quick task here is just to take a triad shape. You can click on this and it'll, if you want to zoom in and expand on this works on your phone and tablet as well. Then you can just shift these up. So very, very practical. That's what I'm aiming to do here, is make harmony, make theory practical and relevant and fun and applicable to the guitar, because if you read harmony textbooks most of the time, they're not, it's like completely separated. It's completely separate from guitar music, guitar playing, the instrument. So this is all made relevant to the guitar. So just to give you a little, insight there. We have concerts every quarter. So we just had a concert recently last month in April, a member concert, and you can check that out on my YouTube channel. So that's just a sneak peek, the Creative Classical Guitarist. You can chat with me personally. I get messages and questions and stuff, and it's great. Really direct way to ask a question, and you can chat with other members. It's a really, really great community vibe here, and a lot of the members have met up now in person, so they're forming real relationships. It's a real community. It's not like when you go on in a Facebook group and people are like bickering at each other. It's a really nice community here. There's very friendly and supportive. Everyone's friendly and supportive, and I think that's what's really important about when it comes to learning. So this is the page here. This is like the website. If you want to join, you can take a free 30-minute composition challenge. You can listen to my podcast with Andrew York, and you can download a free ebook that gives you some tools to start composing with. So check that out, creativeclassicalguitarist.com, and I'll put that in the chat as well. So Stephen, awesome, you want to take the challenge. Very good, very good. That's awesome. And feel free to send me a message. I'd love to hear from you about what doing the challenge is like. You know, what are will you get some good results from that? Love to hear from you. So but yeah, so this is like kind of like the landing page for the Creative Classical Guitarist. It gives you some more information. This is kind of what we're focusing on with the live events. So chord substitutions, composing a nocturne. You might have seen some videos there. I just played Paula's nocturne before the start of her nocturne, right? The first like 8 bars or so. And then for our master classes, we're focusing on rubato. Oh, it's not rubato. That's a typo. It's actually dynamics. So that's wrong. And Spanish pieces. So we're focusing on dynamics and Spanish pieces. So there is a bonus special on right now for yearly memberships. It's normally $750 for a year. And think about everything you're getting here, all the events. If I show you the events calendar, which you can see at a glance here, we have lots of events on, right? So these are the events that are on every month. And sometimes there are more. We have extra open mics. Sometimes there'll be like, we had Technique Boot Camp last Saturday, Technique Boot Camp. So this is what's going on. So if I go to June, you'll see this is the end of May here. And then here is June. So there's plenty happening. Lots of events to go to. 2 master classes a week, 2 foundations classes a week, 2 advanced classes a week, and a method book walkthrough. We go through a method book every week and just go through it and dive deep into that. So you're getting all those events, all the courses, all the eBooks, you know, complete package, everything for $500 for a year, for a yearly membership. Now, think about if you were to enroll in like a university course or some kind of, you know, like yearly class session. I think you'd be paying a lot more than $500, you know, especially for a university course for a year. When I did university, it was like, and I wasn't getting this many classes, I don't think, especially guitar classes. So, you know, it was like $20,000 a year, something like that I had to pay. So I'm trying to make this, I'm trying to kind of open it up so that if you've taken maybe you've taken university degree, you know, you have a degree already, you've taken some courses, or you've taken some classes seriously, or you take lessons and you want to further your studies of music and composition, that kind of thing, or maybe you're a teacher and you want to you want to learn some new skills to pass on to your students. This, you know, I think CCG could be right for you. So this is a bonus, and you save $150. It's normally $750, and you get extra bonuses. So you get a one-on-one lesson with me. It's a 1 hour lesson valued at $100. You get a customized routine ebook. So during that lesson, we'll develop a routine specifically for you, make it an ebook. And then we have a monthly mastermind. We're going to have a monthly event where if you have questions, you can ask your questions. It's a special time just for you. And maybe if you want some career development, you know, advice, guidance, we can do that as well. You know, something that I've learned and I'm still learning is, you know, I've developed a career. This is what I do. This is what I do full time. I support a family. I've got 3 children, and I support my family through, you know, online courses, teaching, performances, that kind of thing. So, I'd love to kind of help you learn what I've learned. So, and then you get access to all CCG has to offer. There's a 7-day free trial, so you can just jump on 7 days. You can join all the events and everything. You can check out all the courses for 7 days and leave. That's fine if you want to do that. You can do that and not pay anything. So there's a 7-day free trial, but I hope if you join, you decide to stay. And then if the yearly plan's not for you, there is a monthly option, which is $75 a month. You can cancel any time. So if you want to just join for a month and stop and join again, you can do that. You can. There's no like locked in thing happening here, and you can always write to me if you have issues about anything. So there's a monthly option as well. Yeah, so CCG is really a music school in your pocket. There's an app. You can access it on your browser or on an app. I've got it on all of my devices. So, and it syncs seamlessly. It's really great. It's a really great app. It runs through a program called Mighty Networks. So yeah, anyway, you can check out this landing page. There's a lot of stuff here there's lots of testimonials from members. So it's not just it's not just empty words. I'm saying that this members have gone through. I have to say too, if you do decide to join, please participate and do the work. Don't expect that if you just watch videos passively and don't attend any live events that you're going to get much progress, because it's not true. You have to, the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get. And I know all the stuff's laid out there. It's just a matter, the student has to go through and do it. And the students that do the work, like everything, the students that show up to the live events, and showing up is half the battle really. They are exceptional. They're extraordinary. They're like doing exams and composing, and arranging and recording themselves and publishing their music. It's, you can do it. If you devote that kind of energy to it, you can do it. If you're busy, and I understand that because I'm busy too. If you're really busy with things, your family and a job, and this is like more of a thing on the side, you can still, it's catered to that, because it's an app. You can do things at your own pace. Everything's in small bite-sized chunks, so you can do that. So yeah, anyway, that's the Creative Classical Guitarist. So yeah, if you want to join, check out the link. Feel free. There's a contact page if you want to just contact me directly if you have questions. You can submit this form here. What do you want to improve on most? I'll be happy to help you. Send you some resources that help. But I think for most people, I think the 7-day focus challenge will help. But then if you're thinking like, what's the next step? Maybe joining CCG is the step for you to take. So just wanted to give a plug for that. So yeah, anyway, I think we might wrap it up there. Do we have any questions? No questions in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions anytime. I will be focusing on, in the coming live streams, I will be focusing on going back to the beginner routine. I'll be going back to the Royal Conservatory of Music books. I will be composing the Bach Prelude. I need to finish I've done part 1 and part 2 of composing a Bach Prelude. I'm just giving you an idea of what to expect, what's coming next. But I do have, I'm keeping a list. So if you have a topic, that you want me to go through, please let me know. Someone's requested Caruli's method, Opus 241. So I've got that on the list. Gilardino's studies. I've done reading in high positions. I need to do fretboard harmony as well. I was going to show you. I'll do it next time. I just got a book in the mail that I wanted to show you. But I'll do that next time, relating to harmony. Anyway, so just to give you an idea of what's coming next. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you watching and the increased views. Just in case you didn't know, my channel was recently kind of upgraded to like the monetization status because of the 4,000 watch hours. So I don't have like heaps, like many thousands of subscribers. I'm kind of getting towards 3,000 subscribers now, and I appreciate every one of you. So thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching. But it's the watch hours, I think, that really so what you need, for, in case you don't know, if you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours over a year, then you can monetize your channel. And I haven't actually monetized it yet, I don't think. So there shouldn't be like ads and stuff, because I don't want that at this point. So but I really appreciate like that you've helped boost the channel. So please subscribe if you haven't already, and share the word to any guitar players that who might be interested. And thanks so much. I'll wrap it up there and see you next time.